What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Live Game, episode 92. This is the average man's perspective on football, and I still got my TV on. My bad.
So professional.
Yes, we pride ourselves on profession.
I forgot. Why wouldn't I say something?
I was too busy unmuting myself during the song.
Joining me on the panel tonight is Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hey.
Next up, we got Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
Next up, we got Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Oh, never mind. It's too long. How about them Cowboys?
How about you let me stick with the sound effects?
I know we're all terrible.
To see the temptations. Ain't nobody
Come to see you, Otis. Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. If you watch on
Did you
YouTube.
cut it short?
No.
I think
That's
you
all right.
did.
I did not. Would you like me to play it again?
No.
Oh Lord,
All right,
no,
then.
please.
It's best if you watch on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Those likes are free. Catch us on Facebook group, The Live Game. We're also on Twitter at The Live Game 3. And you can catch us on Instagram at the official The Late of Game. Week 5 is in the books. We had some major injuries. I wouldn't say we had any major upsets. We had some very good games, though. I think the week turned out much as I anticipated. But who's hosting tonight? I forgot.
It'll be
Herman. So go ahead.
Mr. Herman.
Go ahead and lead us all, Herman.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get into this NFL week. We're going to hit you with some news of the week. Then we're going to discuss a couple topics. We're going to review our games from last week, and we're going to pick the games for this week coming. We will also have a guest on the show this week, so we will be giving that guest picks when we do our picks for the week.
I mean, next week.
I said next week, didn't I?
You said this week.
You said this week, but it's okay.
Whatever. All right. So let's get into this news. Brian, why don't you kick us off with the first news topic?
All right, so the biggest news topic of the NFL this week, on Monday night, Raiders head coach John Gruden and owner Mark Davis met and agreed to part ways amid additional allegations against Gruden. For the record, with Gruden's second stint, he was 23-31.
All right, Marcus. What's our next news story?
Cardinals pass rusher Chandler Jones placed on reserve COVID-19 list, and also Eagles tight end Dallas Goedert was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list.
Where's your coronavirus? Thank you.
You slow today, Marcus.
Yeah,
I'm off. I gotta take it.
So, as if things weren't bad enough for the Chiefs and their offense the way they've been performing lately, they had to place their running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire on injured reserve with an MCL sprain. So, last year's AFC champs are not looking too good right now.
Okay, at all.
And Mark, it's only fitting for you to go ahead and finish off our last news story.
Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster is expected to miss the rest of the season due to a shoulder injury that he suffered in the win over the Denver Broncos. Skins signed Anthony Miller.
The who?
Recently played in Anthony Miller.
Who
wide
signed
receiver.
him?
Who's on?
The Steelers. The Steelers.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on.
To take his spot, but I got a feeling this might be the curtain call for Juju. It's been great. It's been nice, but I think this is the last round for him.
Hey, so Juju ain't been gone next year?
well,
It's
you know,
time
he
to
just
rebuild.
signed for this for 1 year.
We only had 1 year, right? It was kind of this was a kind of make it or break it year for him.
It's time to rebuild. You need a young quarterback to go with Claypool. You got the young running back there. It's time for the Steelers to rebuild. Stop holding on to all that old stuff. Get rid of Ben. Go ahead and move on to Haskins.
Oh my God.
Let's get it going.
He's still shaking his head yes.
No, he knows they need to rebuild. I don't know about the Haskins part, but he could be a cheap option. I mean, could you imagine if he actually worked out?
Whoa, hold
And
up.
you wouldn't have no money.
How many years has Haskins been in the league? 3?
I mean,
remember, he's on a 2-year deal with the Steelers right now.
It ain't gonna matter. He ain't getting no big contract.
Yeah, he's not getting no big contract.
No, he definitely not. No.
He would have to ball.
He had to ball out a
next
couple
year,
years in a
like
row.
2 years in a row at least. Because let's say if he balled out next year, you could franchise him if you wanted to, and not have to pay a big long contract. But you've got some youth going already, especially like I said in wide receiver and your running back. So you might want to go ahead and just time. So
I think they need to secure that offensive line first.
Yeah,
and then we can work around everything else. But
so so that you could have Haskins in there as a stopgap while you're building that line too, and then you maybe have a young quarterback coming in.
Sounds like I need to buy you a Haskins jersey. That's what it sounds like.
No, I'm gonna buy you one though when he becomes.
If you bought me a Steelers Haskins jersey, I would wear it.
Can we move on to this show now? Can we keep on?
Yeah, sorry, Mark. We always get caught up in you and your Steelers. All right, so the first topic we're gonna talk about tonight. If you watch the Bengals and the Packers game, they missed multiple game-winning field goals before Matt Crosby finally hit the game winner in overtime. And NFL overtime is, it's just like watching another quarter of football, but it's shorter. It's not that exciting. So is it time for the NFL to change their overtime rules, especially because the game can end in a tie? Is it time for them to change their overtime rules so that games don't end in a tie?
I mean, that's what overtime is for, so it doesn't end in a tie.
Exactly. So, what's your thoughts? You go ahead, Marcus, kick it off.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not I'm definitely not for extending the overtime any more than this. You don't want to keep playing to get players injured. I mean, I don't know what the alternative would be. The only thing I can come with my mind is like I would definitely stay away from, say, a college type style. In college they just start from 35 and keep going until somebody doesn't score a touchdown or doesn't score a field goal, which would be long. Like I said, I mean, it's long. Players are already tired. You may get some unnecessary injuries.
You're covering less of the field, though.
I don't know. I guess one way I would do it is I would probably, and this would make kickers earn their money. I would have each kicker go back to back, starting at maybe like the 25, 35, 45, 55, taking turns, and whoever missed first or both missed, they keep kicking from that same spot until one of them made it and one of them missed. Do it something like that. You don't really risk anybody getting hurt.
Risking that kicker's leg.
Yeah, your kicker. That's hard to keep kicking field goals like that.
Is it? I mean, I don't think so.
You gonna wear your kicker out.
Well, get a special kicker for overtime games. They got kickers. They got punts. They got punters. They got kickers. Get one for overtime games.
What you think, Mark? Oh, good. Sorry.
I think the XFL, the spring league had the best overtime plan there is. You got the ball on like the 20 or 30-yard line, and you get 4 plays. Either you score the touchdown, or on your fourth play you kick the field goal, and the opposite team got a chance to do either got a touchdown to win the game, or you got a field goal, then you have to move on. But the first one to either get a touchdown, that was it. It was over with. I thought that was a perfect scenario as far as overtime. The NFL need to adopt it. They need to bring that in there. You talk about playing in overtime. I think you open yourself up for more injuries with it. So yeah, I think they need to find a way to shorten it and make it. I mean, it should always be sudden death. The first one score wins. Period. I think it should always be that. And,
I agree.
I thought the spring league and the XFL had the best overtime game plan. It's close to college, but it was pretty thorough. It was pretty good, and it worked.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the way that it's set up now, you're actually setting up for more injuries because you have to deal with kickoffs and punt returns. You're playing the entire length of the field. Whereas rather, if you set up something similar like Mark said, or like college, where it's more sudden death and you're not covering the full length of the field, you're probably less likely to have these injuries. And I think when you think about it, I think more injuries occur on kickoffs and punts. There's a high percentage of injuries that occur on kickoffs and punts as opposed to just regular plays. So, and then my other thing too is what I don't understand is why the NFL would ever want a game to end in a tie. Why, they're bullheaded about this. They refuse to change this. The one thing they did do was, before it used to be first one to score, that was it. Now it's a little bit more of, okay, you get the chance if they kick a field goal. But
what's wrong with ending the title?
What is that? Why is it because you played a whole game to end in a tie?
Well, you should have won. Team should have won the game.
But you might have been able to had it been set up properly and you didn't run out of time. You got 60 minutes to win it. Win it then. Don't complain later.
You need to have a win. You need to have a winner or a loser. You need to have.
It's no point.
I think you definitely need to have winner and loser in playoff games. And to me, any other game could be tied.
What's the point in playing then?
To win the game, you should have won the game in the 60 minutes.
To do what? To do what?
The game.
Okay.
You should have won the game in the 60 minutes allotted.
Okay. Brian, what say you?
Yeah, I actually like the way the NFL has it. All these things that y'all are saying, you're changing the game. You're making it a gimmick in the overtime. It's no longer football. Herman, you want to take out kick out. You want to take kickoffs off. Well, kickoffs was there all other 4 quarters. Now all of a sudden this quarter we don't have it. Mark, you want them to start on the 35. Well, the rest of the game we were starting where the ball got kicked off or somebody ran it back. Now all of a sudden we're changing the game. We're gimmicking it. Just like with hockey, they go and do this other little thing, which I don't like either. But this is the truest form of playing the game the way it was designed the whole time. And to give somebody an opportunity to win this game. Now, if you can't win it in 5 quarters, then you get your tie and you just have to deal with those consequences. Do I like ties? Not particularly, but not to the point where I want to change what the aspects of the game. Let's say your team is best. You have a very good special teams. So in Herman or Mark's scenario, you've taken special teams out of the game. They're no longer involved. So that team may be at a disadvantage because of overtime rules. Whereas for the other 4 quarters, it was an advantage to them, which is what kept them in the game in the first place. So I say leave it like it is. Is it the best? No, but is it the best that I've heard so far? Yeah.
Okay, why don't we just if you're going to do it the overtime that way, why don't you just take the clock out? Just take the clock out of it.
Well, no, I don't think they should play that long though. I don't think they should play forever.
The game going for a long time.
That's where you're right. I mean, that just gets ridiculous, and people just get hurt and get overextended. And then, these people got to play another game next week. These teams can't be out there for like another 4 quarters trying to decide on one game. Just
another side note. Did y'all know that the NFL Network was trying to get the extra playoff game played that Monday night so they could celebrate it? Yes. So it's gonna be interesting because the team that
the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, shut up. But the team that plays that wins, they're gonna have a real short week to go to the next week to play. Yeah. It's gonna change. It's gonna change the scenario of the playoff for sure.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird them changing that to the.
Now, you know why they did that, Herman?
It's about money, yeah.
More money.
So I got another alternative for overtime. Whoever wins the coin flip wins the game.
Again,
I mean, you might as well.
You might as well in the game. We done played 4 quarters and beat each other up to decide it on a coin flip.
You had 60 minutes to win the game.
You might as well.
If that's the case, let's just call it a tie. Nobody play overtime. They can play rock paper scissors at the end of the game.
They can play rock paper scissors.
I mean, truthfully, you might as well. I mean, I just don't understand why the NFL would want one of their games to end in a tie. You play to win the game, not to tie the game.
You can't play it forever. You gotta leave sometime.
It wouldn't be forever. All right, let's move on. All right, so going into week 6, who do you have as your top 5 teams in the NFL? And I'll let you start this one off, Mark.
In no particular order. You know how to do
no particular order. It doesn't have to be in the order. Just who's your top 5 teams?
No particular order. Oh man. The Cardinals, the Bills, the Cowboys. It hurts me to say that. The Chargers, and I would probably say the Ravens.
Really?
That's my 5.
Marcus?
So I'm going to go with the Cardinals, the only undefeated team left. Bills. Definitely had to go with the Chargers. Much as I hate to say it. Cowboys. And I had the Rams, but I think I might have to switch that to the Ravens. I think I'm going to go with the Ravens.
So you get the same thing.
Yeah.
Same.
Brian, what you got?
All right, so we were all pretty much good. I had the Bills, I had the Bucks. I'm sorry, I had the Bills, I had the Cowboys, I had the Cardinals, I had the Chargers, but I had the Bucks. I mean, how can y'all forget about the Bucks?
I don't
Not
think they're the
impressed
best
with
team
them.
right now going into week
Okay.
6. I don't think they're top 5.
Yeah. So I'm
Tom
not.
Brady just threw like 4 touchdowns last week and 400 some
It was
yards,
against Miami.
and beat me
Oh,
and almost beat me twice in fantasy. So
It was against Miami. That's not happening.
that's what I'm about to say. Who did they play?
okay,
So I got the Bills, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, but I got the Rams. I'm not impressed with. I don't like the way the Ravens are playing.
yeah, I
You
agree.
can't. They
And they
can't keep
almost lost
doing
to the
this.
Lions. They
Yeah,
should
they
have
can't.
lost to the Lions.
They can't keep doing this.
They
Yeah,
should have lost 3 games.
they should have lost
Yeah.
3 games. Lamar cannot be Superman every freaking game and bring them back.
Right. And
I
this
agree-
stuff
I agree
ain't
with
gonna
you
work
on
in the
that.
playoffs.
Yeah.
This stuff ain't gonna
fellas,
work in the playoffs.
He's
But
gonna be
fellas,
dead before they get to the playoffs.
You look at
Exactly.
you look at how many people this team has lost and how well they weren't expected to do it, but they are.
They had
Yeah.
16
That's a
people.
good team.
They had 16 people going IR. 16.
That's
Hey, that's
that they
a part
doing
of the
it though.
You know who's
They
doing
are,
it? It's
but-
3 people. It's
Yeah.
Lamar, it's Hollywood, and Mark Andrews, and that's it.
Yep.
Well,
I watch the Ravens, man. I swear it looks like they're just drawing it up on the field. as
I
they
swear
go
to God,
along,
you're right,
man.
Herman. It's just like Lamar is just saying, "Hey, you go this way. Hey, run this route. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna scramble into the
Sandlot football.
It
Sandlot
is
football. It's
Definitely
funny.
sandlot football. It's crazy.
I would just
I appreciate that effort, Lamar. You got me that win in fantasy. 90 points, baby.
I was just glad he was able to do it with his arm this time instead of his feet. So we
True.
could
Yeah.
kill the naysayers.
But
That
yeah,
was a heck of a game on Monday night.
Figure that one out, huh?
Yeah.
We'll get into that one. All right. Well, those are our hot topics for this evening. Nothing too heavy to talk about. A little bit of light football talk. Let's go ahead and get into the weekly review of the games from last week. And we are going to start off with the Thursday night game, which we saw the Rams going into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. The Rams came away 26 with a 26-17 victory. Matthew Stafford was 25 for 37, 365 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 1 time. Leading rusher for the Rams was Darrell Henderson Jr. He had 17 carries for 82 yards, 1 touchdown. Robert Woods was the leading receiver for the Rams with 12 receptions for 150 yards, no touchdowns. And Cooper Kupp was right behind him, 7 catches, 92 yards, no touchdowns. And on the Seahawks side, Russell Wilson was 11 for 16, 152 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and he was picked off 2 times. Russell did have to leave the game early with a hand injury. So Geno Smith came in relief.
No, Russell wasn't picked off 2 times. He's got picked off once.
I said once, didn't I?
No, you said 2
I'm
times.
sorry.
He was 2 times.
He was sacked 2 times. Geno Smith was 10 for 17, 131 yards. He threw 1 touchdown, and he was also picked 1 time. Alex Collins was the leading rusher for the Seahawks because Chris Carson was out with a neck injury. Alex Collins was 15 carries for 47 yards, no touchdowns. Leading receiver for the Seahawks was DK Metcalf, 5 catches, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Tyler Lockett was right behind him with 5 catches for 57 yards. I'll start this one off. I picked the Seahawks, and I got this one wrong. Russell Wilson going out basically kind of killed this game for the Seahawks. It was a good game. Russ is he's still under a lot of pressure to get the ball out, and I mean, it shows because he got his hand injured throwing. So I picked the Seahawks, and I got this one wrong. Mark, who did you have?
Yeah, I was with you on this one, Herman. I chose the Seahawks on it. Russell, he hurt himself in the third quarter, but right before that play he had a wide open Lockett that if he'd connected with him, it made a change, a little game for him. But they would have went up 14, possibly 14-9 instead of being down 9-7. But that was a gruesome hand injury for him, and he just wasn't the same. He played I think he played two more series after that.
Wasn't it? Was it? I thought it was one.
I thought it was two, but he was still in the game. He was still there trying to compete. But of course, as the finger got more swollen, it got difficult for him to hold on to the ball, to grip the ball, so it became a problem. But I thought Russ was going to cook in this one. He ended up getting cooked. So I chose the Seahawks, and they were wrong.
No.
Brian?
Marcus, high five, Marcus. I went with the Rams on this one. The Rams and the Seahawks, they were moving the ball offensively. The Rams put up 476 total yards. The Seahawks put up 354 yards. And the Seahawks were really efficient on third down. They were 40% on third down. The biggest Achilles heel, again, was Russell going down and the turning the ball over, where the Rams didn't turn the ball over at all. So I picked the Rams, and I picked this one right.
Marcus?
I also picked the Rams. Besides Russell going out, I think one of the biggest tells in this game was that even though LA had they dominated time, they had a greater time possession, 33 minutes, 3 seconds over 26 minutes, 57 seconds. Like Brian mentioned earlier, it was a third down and 50. While Seattle was 40%, LA was only 20%, which means they weren't having a lot of third downs. They were walking up, they were moving down the field, not having to convert a lot of third downs. So once again, Seattle's defense was letting them down, and then once Russell went out, it was done. I picked the Rams, and the Rams won.
All right, let's move on to the next game, which was the Packers traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This one went into overtime, as we talked about earlier, and the Packers pulled it out, hit the game-winning field goal. Packers won this one 25-22. Aaron Rodgers was 27 for 39, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and was sacked twice. Aaron Jones was the leading rusher for the Green Bay Packers. He was 14 for 103 yards, no touchdowns. And, of course, Devontae Adams was the leading receiver. 11 catches, 206 yards, and 1 touchdown. Why? I mean, we know why, but why? Joe Burrow was 26 for 38, 281 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, and he was sacked 3 times. How do you say his first name? Samaje Perine was 11 carries for 59 yards, no touchdowns. And Jamar Chase, 6 catches, 159 yards, and 1 touchdown. So as you can see from the stats,
I was saying something. I was on mute.
Oh, okay.
So
as you can see from the stats, nobody was covering receivers.
And all that stuff about not being able to catch.
That was. Marcus, you go ahead and kick this one off. Who'd you have?
I picked Green Bay. And Green Bay got lucky. I feel like they barely walked out here with a win. Cincinnati's pretty good. They were pretty much even on everything, except Cincinnati had allowed 1 more sack than Green Bay did, and they do 1 more interception. But other than that, it was a pretty evenly matched game. It could have went either way. Obviously, all these missed field goals. But I picked Green Bay, and Green Bay won.
Mark?
Yeah, I took Green Bay in this one also, man. McPherson, he missed a 57-yarder. with 26 seconds left in the game to basically win it. He missed another 49 yard in overtime, and he thought he made it.
Yeah.
That was
That
the
was
funniest.
hilarious.
He started celebrating prematurely, and I tell you, I bet you, there's no way he can do that again. He nailed the flag on the top of the post. There's no way you can do that again. This was a pretty good, exciting game. It went back and forth as far as kickers. The tail of the kickers, and unfortunately, the Cincinnati kicker couldn't make the field goal, but Green Bay kicker could, and they won the game. So I was right on this one.
Brian.
Yeah, I also picked the Packers, and like Herman was saying, the offenses was on point. Green Bay 466 total yards. The Bengals came up with 367, but nobody wanted to win this game with a field goal. I mean, they were just taking forever. But if the Bengals had won this game, I mean, it would have been a big chip in their hat to get that, because I mean, they played well. Joe Burrow made a dumb play trying to run and got hurt, almost got kicked out the game, and I guess almost got out the game, and then I guess apparently hurt his neck. Had to go get that evaluated after the game. So Joe slide.
Oh, yeah. Did you see how his head bounced off the the turf?
Man, him and what's his name for the Giants, man? They're
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, man. But I had the Packers. I had this one right.
Yeah, I picked the Packers on this one too. I mean, watching this game, man, it was like it literally looked like a comedy show with the kickers rolled out there, because you just like, okay, he's gonna finally hit the thing. Like, no way, he missed again. And he missed again. It was unreal to see professional kickers miss like that, especially Crosby.
Yeah,
you know, especially Crosby. But yeah, it was. I guess it made for an exciting game. It was a good game. I'm just glad that the game didn't end in a tie, and Crosby was finally able to kick the goal for real. So I picked the Packers. Yep, and I got this one right. All right, so we're going to move on to the next game, which was the Cleveland Browns traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. This one was a offensive, high-scoring game. The Chargers won this one 47-42. Justin Herbert was 26 for 43, 398 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and he was sacked 2 times. Austin Eckler was the leading rusher, 17 carries for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. Herbert was the second leading rusher for the Chargers, actually, 4 carries for 29 yards. Mike Williams, leading receiver for the Chargers, 8 catches, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. Thank you, Mike. You helped me with my fantasy game.
I knew that's why you brought him up.
Well, he was right there against the 5th Beatle, might I add. Keenan Allen was had 6 catches for 75 yards, no touchdowns. On the flip side, Baker Mayfield, 23 for 32, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 sack. Nick Chubb, 21 carries, 161 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Kareem
7.7 average.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt followed that up with 12 carries, 61 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Leading receiver for the Browns was David Njoku, the tight end, 7 catches, 149 yards, 1 touchdown. He had one that was 71 yards, a 71-yard catch. I'll start this one off. This was a good game. I didn't get to see a lot of it because my boys was playing at the same time. But it was a lot of back and forth. Justin Herbert, that dude he's going to be the truth. I mean, you could kind of see it, I think, in the Hard Knocks that year. And I mean, now y'all see why they stabbed Tyrod in the.
Wait a minute, stop a second. Who did you say again? Justin Herbert. I don't think you said that.
Yeah, I said Justin Herbert.
That's what he said.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but you can see why they stabbed Tyrod. He messed my whole joke up. You can see why they stabbed Tyrod in the chest with the needle. I picked the Chargers, and I had this one right. Marcus.
Who did I pick? I picked the Chargers. Okay, I picked the Chargers. I feel like this game could have went either way, and actually the Browns should have won this game. Their defense could have done something to slow Herbert and the offense down. They should have won again. I mean, if you look at the stats, they put up more total yards, killed them in rushing yards, 230 to 112. They caused one fumble from the Chargers. They didn't have any fumbles or interceptions. It's just two things. Like I said, the defense should better stop them. And what's the coach's name?
I forget what that
Stefanski.
Yeah, he needs to get Bakerfield over that hump. Bakerfield.
Bakerfield.
I mean,
Bakerfield.
Are you putting his name together as a last name?
Bakerfield.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield. You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield.
Bakerfield.
What's his name? Bakerfield.
That's his new name on the show. Bakerfield.
Yeah,
That's what we call him.
Bakerfield. Oh man.
I don't feel like he's there yet with the rest of them where you can put the ball in his hands and he can come back and win the game. He had time to come back and win that game, but he couldn't pull it off. But I'm not gonna put the loss on him. Like I'm gonna put it on that defense. But the Browns are for real. They just need to get over that hump. I just don't feel like they're there yet. If they're in the lead, they can win. But I don't like you say, give Tom Brady the ball or get 37 seconds with Aaron Rodgers. I don't feel like we can say that with Baker Mayfield and the Browns yet, and I think that got proved. But they still are the real deal. They just need to go to hump. I picked the Chargers, and the Chargers won.
But is it Bakerfield or is it just the Browns as a whole? Because Bakerfield was 23 for 32, 305 yards, no picks.
Okay, but he got the ball. He got the ball back with 126 left. You put that in Rodgers or Mahomes or Tom Brady. You figure they can make a comeback, and he just didn't. But I don't think it's not his fault they lost. Defense should have been able to put a stop. I mean, come on, but they were winning pretty by double digits at some point in the game. Defense should be able to stop Justin Herbert and the offense. But I just feel like no point during that last drive. I was like, they left him too much. They left him too much time. Like you see, like I said, early this year, we was like, 37 seconds. You left Aaron Rodgers 37 seconds. Oh, that's a win. I never felt that way during that minute 26. So,
Brian, who'd you pick?
Yeah, I'm also went with you guys. I picked the Chargers on this one. And I mean the Browns, like I said, man, the Browns came to play, man. 230 yards rushing, 531 total yards. But the Browns defense kind of let them down in the fourth quarter. The Chargers scored 26 points in that quarter alone.
Yeah.
The fun fact that I found was that Baker, this goes to what Marcus was saying. Baker Mayfield has lost his third game.
Bakerfield.
Bakerfield has lost his third game in which his team has scored 42 or more points, and that is an NFL record.
Yeah, is that on the quarterback? That should never be on the quarterback,
Everything,
though.
All these stats are on the quarterback.
I know, but
wins and losses go on the quarterback.
That's definitely on the defense.
Well, okay, it's a Browns record,
but you still got to know what I said. A minute 26. You'd have left Brady with a minute 26. You'd be like, they're gonna win that game.
There are a lot of quarterbacks in the league with a minute 26. They can move their team down the field and get a field goal to win, or they needed to score a touchdown.
And
they could do it.
And with 8 plays, he only got 21 yards in a minute 26.
That's
it's not his fault they lost the game.
Well, Baker is like a manager. He's not going to win the game for you. You just try to keep him from losing it. But they're a running team.
Yeah,
the way they ran the ball, they had that game. They should have won that game.
Yeah, definitely should have won it.
Hey, I chose the Chargers in this one. This was a fun game. But to add to Brian's and Bakerfield stats, this was the first game in NFL, I think out of 442, that a team that throws no interceptions and scores 40 points loses. This is the first time on over 442 games that this happened.
They had no turnovers at all. No turnovers.
They scored 40 points and lost. That hadn't happened before over 400-something games. That is an amazing stat. You figure you get 40 points, you're going to come out victorious. Yeah. No interceptions, no turnovers. Yeah, you come out victorious, but you didn't. But I thought that Bakerfield and them ran the ball excellent against the Chargers team, and they pretty much needed to play keep away from it. They just scored too fast, and then that was it. Speaking of which, you see at the end of the game where the running back of the Chargers was trying to work out the clock and not score. Cleveland pushed them in the end zone to make them score, so they wouldn't split up. So they wouldn't eat up more time. I thought that was funny, but I chose the Chargers on this one. They was successful.
That was hilarious because I've never seen that. Now, I've seen teams
like
park the waters to let somebody run in and score, but I've never seen the defense grab
they assist
and throw them.
Hey, so look on that touchdown, he get assist from the Cleveland's defense.
Right.
But that was one of the best games on Sunday.
Definitely.
All right, let's move on. So, y'all are long-winded dudes. Bro. So the 49ers travel to the Cardinals in a divisional rivalry game. Cardinals won this one 17-10. Kyler Murray was 22 for 31, 239 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked twice. Leading rusher for the Cardinals was Rondale Moore, 3 carries for 38 yards. James Conner was behind that, 10 carries for 29 yards. That's some putrid numbers. Leading receiver was DeAndre Hopkins, 6 catches, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. And Rondale Moore was also the second leading receiver, 5 catches, 59 yards, no touchdowns. On the flip side, Trey Lance, the rookie, was 15, 20, 29, 192 yards and 1 pick. He was sacked twice. Trey Lance was the leading rusher for the 49ers with 16 carries for 89 yards. Leading receiver was Deebo Samuels, 3 receptions for 58 yards, no touchdowns. Brian, you start this one off.
So in this one, I did pick the Cardinals. And, man, I don't know if the boy wonder over there in the 49ers then lost his luster or if it's just injuries that's killing him, but they just don't run the ball like they were. I mean, he was just basically putting anybody back there, and they were getting 100 yards like his dad. But lately, when like Herman said, the quarterback had the most yards, 89. The 49ers defense pretty much did their job. I mean, they shut that high-powered Cardinals offense down to 17 points, and they just couldn't get their offense on point. So the only thing good that Arizona did do offensively, they did run for 210 yards in that game. But I picked the Cardinals.
Yeah, I picked the Cardinals also. It's like you said, the 49ers aren't running the football. And I think Trey Sermon, the rookie that they drafted, he's not turning out to be what they thought, I don't think. And then he's starting a rookie quarterback too. So they probably need Garoppolo right now. You need that experienced quarterback with everything that they got going on, especially with all the injuries with the run game and everything. Cardinals definitely came down to earth a little bit. So, I mean, I don't know if 49ers kind of set the blueprint out there to show you how to slow that offense down. But they kind of came back down to earth a little bit, only scoring 17 points. But again, divisional games, these are people you play twice a year. These teams. So, you throw records out the window sometimes and it's just going to be a divisional fight. So I picked the Cardinals and I got that right. Mark?
Yeah. To me, this was a defensive game, and both the divisional teams. So they're gonna play each other tight when they meet up. But I thought the man who really was in Lance's face all day was J.J. Watt. His presence was real fierce in this game. He was putting a lot of pressure on him. I think he batted down two passes. He was back to looking like the old J.J. Watt for the first time since he'd been with the Cardinals. But I thought it was fantastic. Deshaun Hopkins is man, he is
DeAndre Hopkins.
He's one. DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre, man, he had a fantastic catch, and the rookie Rondale Moore, he had one of the best sideline toe taps so far this year. That was magnificent. But these cardiac kids, they're playing right now. I took the Cardinals, and I was right.
Marcus?
I also took the Cardinals. I don't feel like the Cardinals were brought back down to earth. I don't feel like every game you're going to score all these points. I think this is a good game for them. That they were able to win a close, tight game like this, where it wasn't all up to Kyler Murray. He had a pretty pedestrian day compared to the rest of the season he's had. He only 22, 31, 239 yards and one touchdown. He didn't even he only had one rushing yard. So they need to be able to win games like that. Unlike where we talk about the Ravens, where it seems to be all on Lamar. It's a good thing. It's not all on Murray. So I think the Cardinals did a pretty good job, and I'm glad to see them winning games like this.
Yeah, they have a plethora of talent, so it won't be on just Murray. That's what's so scary about the Cardinals. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We have the Sunday night game. We had the Buffalo Bills traveling to Kansas City, take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Bills won this one 38-20. Josh Allen was 15 of 26, 315 yards, 3 touchdowns. Josh Allen was the leading rusher, 11 carries, 59 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Moss was behind that, 11 carries, 37 yards. Leading receiver for the Bills was Dawson Knox, 3 receptions, 117 yards. Stephon Diggs was the second leading receiver, 2 catches for 69 yards. Quick note, Cole Beasley, 1 catch, 5 yards.
Thanks, Cole.
Very interesting. Cole Beasley hasn't done much this year for the.
Well, he has, just not this last couple games. He was on fire a few games before this.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes for the Colts. I mean, for the Chiefs. I just made a trade. Yeah. 33.
Patrick might take that at this point.
Right. 33.
On Madden.
33 for 54. Way too many passes attempts. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 sacks. He was also the leading rusher, 8 rushes, 61 yards. Darrell Williams was the second leading rusher for the Chiefs, 5 carries for 27 yards, because as we talked about earlier, Clyde Edwards-Helaire left the game with an injury. McCole Hardman was the leading receiver, 9 catches, 76 yards, no touchdowns. Tyreek Hill was right behind him, 7 receptions, 63 yards, no touchdowns. And Travis Kelce, 6 receptions, 57 yards, 1 touchdown. Brian, you can kick this one off.
Yeah, on this one, I did pick the Bills. I was on that Bills Mafia train. But the Chiefs, man, not only is your defense non-existent because you let the Bills put up 436 yards, but if you continue to turn this ball over, I mean, they turned the 2 picks and 2 fumbles 4 times. That's just a recipe for a loss. I don't know what you're going to do, but you need to tighten up that ship. If the offense ain't going to be perfect, you're not going to win a lot of games because your defense is horrible.
Yeah. Mark?
He's adjusting.
Yeah, Bills Mafia. I took the Bills in this one, man. But you're right. The Chiefs is turning the ball over, and they turn it over. The key thing with beating them is if they turn the ball over, you got to make them pay for it. The Bills definitely did that. Can't say enough about Josh Allen. He is doing his thing right now, man. He's distributing the ball very well, getting the receivers. He's got Sanders. I think Sanders scored 2 touchdowns in this one too. They're looking pretty good.
I picked them up in fantasy.
Yeah, I took the Bills in this one.
Marcus?
I took the Chiefs. What can you say? Like Brian's already said, their defense is horrible.
I guess you could just quit the show.
I mean, it's like I feel like that we could take some of our old Turkey Bowl teams and go out there and throw around on the Chiefs, and they would be wild. I don't see how you can call yourself a professional football team, and it seems like some people are just wide open. I mean, I don't know what the big difference between last year and this year. Same coordinator. I just don't understand it. And like Brian mentioned, at this point, Mahomes is doing too much. I think he's starting to believe the hype too much. He's Superman, and you're getting brought back down to earth, dude. And I feel like I know why he's doing that, because you feel like you got to score every time.
Yeah.
You feel like you're going to make mistakes, and it's just it's funny. So they play my team this coming week. And I looked at beginning to see, I was like, oh, that's definitely an L. I'm not so sure anymore.
I was thinking the same thing, Marcus. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, I definitely don't believe our offense is as good as their offense. But I mean, I feel like our offense is scoring their defense just like anybody else.
Yeah. If they turn the ball over or with y'all like they did these last few games, you absolutely have a chance in that game.
That might turn out to be like a 55, 56 game right there. I mean, they just last week a lot of talk was you want to push the panic button on the Chiefs. This week, it's time to push the panic button. You got to get this shit corrected. Even though we got a lot more season to go, you have got to get. I mean, their defense looked. It didn't like a professional defense. I feel like it didn't like a professional defense. It seemed like Bills just did whatever they want, and just that's not sustainable in this league. And you can't afford to be that way when you got Justin Herbert knocking on your door. Matter of fact, he ain't knocking. He's halfway in. He got the door open at this point. And it's you got the Bills and you got the Ravens and you got the Browns. This is not the time. This is not the year for you to be falling apart. But I picked the Chiefs and they got blown out.
The Chiefs too, and it's like you said, your defense is already bad. You cannot afford to turn the ball over. Mahomes is trying to do too much. 100% agree with that, and it's backfiring on them right now. So right now they're not even going to win the division, let alone get into the playoffs.
They're in last place.
They're pretty much. I mean, I know it's early, but I don't know how they bounce back from this.
Right now, it's the Chargers division, hands down.
Yeah, because a new defense ain't walking in the door tomorrow for the Chiefs, so they better figure. I mean, this is like I said when they added Josh Gordon. Why are you doing that?
For what purpose?
But
you need to get defense. So I picked the Chiefs. I got this one wrong. All right, we're gonna move on to the last game, and so we can get into our picks. Let's not take too long on this game. Let's not be so long-winded. You long-winded dudes. The Colts went to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, or the old Colts, if you want to call them that, or whatever.
Or the old Browns.
Right, or the old Browns, I guess. So the Colts lost this one. Ravens won this one 31-25. Lamar Jackson was 37 for 43, 4 touchdowns. He was sacked twice. Lamar was the leading rusher, 14 carries, 62 yards. Latavius Murray was behind him, 6 carries for 17 yards.
Did you say 17?
Yeah.
He made me lose my fantasy game. Mark Andrews, 11 receptions, 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Marquise Brown, 9 catches, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On the flip side, Carson Wentz, 25 for 32, 402 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks. Jonathan Taylor was the leading rusher, 15 carries, 53 yards, 1 touchdown.
You hear him again, Marcus. You see how he brought that up.
Jonathan Taylor again was the leading receiver. Jonathan Taylor, 3 catches, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Running back was the leading. And leading receiver. If you want the leading receiver, 6 catches, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Pittman. Yeah, I picked the Ravens, and I got this one right. I said it earlier. I don't like the way the Ravens are playing. They're pulling these games out. They're kind of winning them by the skin of their teeth. This formula is not going to work in the playoffs. I get that they're injured. I get that. A lot of teams have injuries. They do have a lot of injuries. I mean, no team, I don't think that I can ever remember has lost their starting 3, their depth. They lost their running back depth chart.
Entire depth chart.
Yeah, I can't ever remember that happening before. So I get that they're hurt and everything, but they can't sustain this type of play. I don't know what they have to do to get better. Whether you can't, you just like I just said about the Chiefs, a new defense, new uninjured players aren't just going to be walking through the door to the starters. They're not starters for a reason. But I mean, I guess it's working right now. If it gets you to the playoffs, then anything can truly happen. But they gotta improve. They barely beat Detroit. They squeaked by the Colts. Who was the other team?
Chiefs.
I mean, to be fair, a couple of teams have barely squeaked by Detroit this season.
They squeaked by the Chiefs too.
Yeah. So I picked the Ravens.
Marcus?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is quite a few teams have barely squeaked by Detroit.
But I picked the Ravens, and I got this one right. Marcus?
I picked the Ravens as well. I might disagree with you. I think the way they're playing is sustainable. I definitely think Lamar needs more help. It can't just be all on him. But I mean, he's a starting quarterback, and most teams need their starting quarterback to be sustainable. They're winning close games. Like I said, they won this game not with his feet but with his arm. And I feel like as long as you can change it up, you can switch it up, you can find different ways to win. Then that definitely is sustainable. So I picked the Ravens, and the Ravens won, and I believe they can go very far this way.
I mean, yeah, it's sustainable that you can keep playing from behind, but at some point you're not going to be able to catch up. That's what I mean by sustainable. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I mean? Like you play a more high-powered offense that's clicking, and you get behind by too much. You're just not going to come back from that.
Well, I think we're going to see this week when they play the Chargers. Because there
we go. We're going to see this weekend. You're right. Brian, who'd you pick?
I was with you guys. I went with the Ravens, man. And you would think 25 points, 513 yards of offense, and being 50% on third down would be a winning recipe. But I guess it's not when you got Superman on the other team going against you. So, I mean, 442 yards, like Herman said, 4 touchdowns. I mean, you got to give it to him on this one. I mean, he actually balled out. But I'm with Herman. I think it's just too much. I think they need a more balanced running game. They were a running team with Lamar. I mean, it's nice that they did get this game off their hook with a passing game, but it just looked like Lamar was the whole show.
And I don't get, like, Latavius Murray is a good running back.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
I mean, it was the Colts defense. I mean, the Colts said we're going to stop you from running. That's basically what the Colts said. Because even in the morning,
previous games. Previous games, they're not getting Murray going. I don't know.
Hey, so did the Ravens, did they get their 100-some yards to keep that streak going?
They lost the streak.
Sure didn't.
They lost the streak.
It's a murder scene over at Mark's place. Somebody called 911.
Redman, who'd you pick?
Could you move your thumb away from the camera, sir?
It's your turn to talk. So I picked the Ravens.
Give him a minute.
We're waiting on something.
He needs a minute.
Well, we were doing great on time until Teddy Riley had technical difficulties.
Hey, Herman, real quick. I know this is off the topic, but who's your leading MVP for the league?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen.
What do you think, Marcus?
To me, it's between Herbert and Lamar.
All right, I'm with Justin Herbert. I think he's been playing phenomenal every game.
But the only reason is between those two.
Go, Mark, go.
What was your question there?
No. We want to know who you picked between the Ravens and the Colts.
I took the Ravens, and I was successful. I'm 5-1 for the week.
Yeah. How are you 5-1 when we only pick 5 games?
We picked 6 games.
No, we picked 6 games, sir.
Stop it, Marcus.
I'm 5-1 as well.
Yeah, I'm 6-0.
4-2.
You a lot.
No, I'm not.
What was your question now about?
Who's your MVP of the league right now?
Oh man, Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't think about Murray.
Yeah, he likes that one.
He had like an average game last week, so he kind of got off the radar, but he's still there.
Did you say yours, bro?
Me?
You said Herbert.
Yeah, I agree. I think Herbert.
If not, and you know what? And I can't disagree with you on that one.
Herbert.
I can't disagree with you on that one.
All right, let's get into the picks. You long-winded dudes.
All right, let's go quick.
We ain't gotta go. Well, yeah, we gotta go quick. I guess not quick enough. Whatever. All right, first game of the week.
We got some time on this one.
Bucks are traveling to the Eagles. Brian, what's the spread?
Spread is Bucks are giving up 7.
All right. Who you got, Brian?
Give me the Bucks.
Mark.
Bucks.
Marcus.
You know I'm taking the Bucks.
Just real quick, our guest next week, LJ, he picked the Bucks as well.
All right, and I'm taking the Bucks too. All right. Next game is the Cardinals at the Browns.
Browns are giving up 3.
Browns giving up 3. That's basically they're giving up 3. Yeah, it's the home field advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark, who you got?
I think you can run on the Cardinals. If the Browns can play smart and run the ball, I'm gonna give the upset. I'm gonna take the Browns on this one, y'all.
Marcus, who you got? Oh, sorry.
So I think the one thing has been discussed about this game. This is the game of two the two recent Heisman Trophy winning Oklahoma quarterbacks, Mayfield versus Kyler Murray, and
Bakerfield.
This is going to be a good game. This was hard to pick, but I'm gonna have to go with the Browns. The Cardinals get their first L this season.
Wow! High five, Marcus. High five.
Brian, who do you have, and who does the guest have?
The guest has the Cardinals. I disagree with him. I want high fives. I picked the Browns as well.
Wow, I'm like totally shocked because when I picked my pick, I said, "All right, I'm lone wolf in this one."
Me too.
I'm going with the Browns too. It's a home game for the Browns. They got the good run game. They can keep that Cardinals offense off the field with that run game. So yeah,
they keep Chargers offense off the field.
True.
Well, hopefully they learn from that one. Hopefully they learn from it.
Right. But I'm going with the Browns also. All right. Next game on the docket, we got the Chargers going to Baltimore to play the Ravens. Brian, what's the spread on this one?
The spread is the Ravens giving up 3.
All right. Marcus, who you got?
This one was hard for me. You know, I hate picking against Lamar, but I'm gonna have to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers are gonna win this game.
I'm also on the Chargers bandwagon. I think the Chargers are going to win this game too. Mark, who you got?
Chargers.
And Brian.
So LJ picked the Ravens, but I'm with you guys. I'm on that Chargers.
Oh my God!
I just knew I was going to be picking that one by myself.
Right. All right. Next game up, we have the Vegas Raiders traveling to Denver to take on the Broncos.
It should be the John Gruden Vegas Raiders. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What's the spread on this one, Brian?
Raiders are giving up 3.5.
All right, go ahead and give your picks and the guest picks.
The guest LJ picked the Broncos, and I agree with him. I think the Broncos are going to win this game. I think the Raiders got too much turmoil going on this week to be focused.
Mark, who you got?
Is Teddy coming back this game?
That's a good question. That actually is a very good question.
Yeah, didn't he come back in that game
last week? Yeah.
No, he did.
I think he came back.
I believe Bridgewater.
Mark, it was your game.
I think Teddy. I mean, I think if
actually,
he did
play last week. He did play last week.
I think Raiders got too much turmoil. I'm gonna take the Broncos in this one.
Marcus.
Yeah, I'm taking the Broncos. I believe the downfall of the Raiders organization continues. I'm definitely picking the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm picking the Broncos too. Watch the Raiders win this game. I'm not going to pick them.
In spite of John Gruden, right, Herman?
Watch the Raiders win this game.
We'll show you, John. You're racist.
Yep. You watch.
Look, the gay guy on that team is going to be like the MVP.
He took a leave of absence.
Did he?
One day.
Oh, okay.
After the whole thing, he took a leave of absence.
He's an offensive lineman or defense?
No, defense.
Defensive line.
Yeah, he's going to wreak havoc. He's going to have like 5 sacks.
Right. All right. Sunday night game, we have the Seahawks traveling to the Steel Curtain City, whatever you call it, to take on the Steelers. Brian,
Steelers.
The spread is the Steelers by 5.
Okay, Marcus, who you got?
I mean, I think this was easy. No Kurt Russell. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
Who?
Well, Kurt Russell wasn't playing for the Seahawks anyway. But
Kurt Russell, the actor?
He chopped all names of the day.
well, I'm with Marcus on this one. Since the Seahawks don't have Kurt Russell, I'm gonna go with the Steelers. Brian, you got it.
Oh man, LJ is picking the Seahawks. But I'm with you guys. I think Kurt Russell is an award-winning actor, and since he's not playing in this movie, I'm going with the Steelers.
And Mark.
Hey, Steelers all the way.
All right. So LJ, we're not gonna make him lone wolf, even though he's lone wolf.
He done lone wolf most of these.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. All right, last game of the week, the Monday nighter. We got the Bills traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Brian, what's the spread on this one?
The Bills by 5.5.
Hey, let me ask a question, Brian. What's the spread on Derrick Henry stiff arming the hell out of somebody?
Josh Allen was still there 100%.
Brian, who you got, and who's our guest have for this one?
We both picked the Bills on this one. The Bills with the number 1 ranked defense versus that number 3 offense of the Titans.
Yeah, they got number 3 offense.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus, who you got on this one?
I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Rushing offense. I'm sorry, rushing offense.
Okay. Bills are on fire right now. I'm going to go with the Bills.
Mark, who you got?
This is a rematch. This is a rematch of a playoff game, isn't it?
Yeah. So say it. Say it.
Woody Allen and the Bills.
I'm taking the home team on this one. I'm taking the Titans.
You wearing the hat. You wearing the hat.
Did you get a pick yet?
Wait,
No, I'm going to give it. I'm usually on that Titans bandwagon, but nah, I'm going with the Bills on this one. All righty, so that wraps up our picks for next week's games, and that pretty much wraps up the show. Yeah, he's definitely wearing that. Look, Brian's looks messed up now too.
Yeah, it does.
To the green screen.
Yeah, I'm not wearing that ghost hat.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and kick off our final thoughts of the for the week. We will start with Mark.
Hey, my final thought for the week is, man, just be careful what you do in the dark because it will come out in the light. Just ask John Gruden.
Brian.
My final thought is to the whole Dallas Cowboys team. Thank you for the last 4 weeks. It has been amazing, and keep it going, Cowboys Nation.
And my final thought is
don't you be no philosopher.
My final thought is you might want to make sure before you hit send on that email. And Marcus, take it home.
My final thought is in the words of Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. You remember him from the movie Gladiator. Death smiles at us all, but all a man can do is smile back.
Okay, see, we're going to have a conversation after this show because y'all get a little crazy.
Go watch Gladiator. It was a very good movie.
I've seen Gladiator.
Awesome. Watch it again. One movie you watch every time I come on TV, I watch it. Before we get out of here,
I watch 300.
This is Sparta. Wait, Gladiator is better than 300.
No way.
No, I don't know about that.
Ain't no way.
I love 300, but Gladiator is better.
I don't know if I can say that.
Gladiator.
I think I can say both. Both of them equal to me.
But
anyway, before we get out of here, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe, especially if you're watching on YouTube. You can also catch it on Facebook in our Facebook group, The Live Game. We're also on Twitter. Hell, what the hell?
What that?
Dude.
Sorry.
Brian, is that you? Is that you, Brian?
Yeah. Just say goodbye. My son called me.
The Live Game. I thought he was giving me the Oscar speech. And you also catch us on Instagram at the official the official Live Game. So you done do me all off, Holly. What's wrong with you? We will see you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Peace. We out.
Peace.